Hello friends, welcome to Kumbha Science Academy. Today we will study our last chapter, logic. So within the logic, so far we have completed up to the tautology, contradiction, contingency. Now today we will start with the exercise 1.3 where we will study the most important part of these statements. First, we will focus on the quantifiers. So what do you mean by quantifiers? So quantifiers are those which makes this statement easy. Most of the times we have this equation. Initially they ask us this question whether x square plus 3 is equal to some 9. Okay, so x square plus 3 is equal to 9 means what? So here we need to have what is the existence of this x. So x should exist with particular value and that we need to mention within this statement, then only it is called as a statement. Now how to express whether this existence of this x, okay, so first we need to focus on that point, how to express the existence of that x. So without expressing the existence of this x, we cannot say this is a mathematical statement, understood, or the logical statement. So for that purpose there are 2 to 3 ways, okay, which where we can express this existence of this x. So this was the first example which we, not the first example, this kind of examples we studied earlier. Now what we need to do, we need to quantify them, exactly how much that existence is there and how much we can take further within the given particular set. Now there are symbols of the quantifiers. So what is the symbol of quantifier? So let me start to explain what do you mean by quantifier. So quantifier says that, okay, so these are what, there are two types of quantifiers. Now these quantifiers quantify the given x, okay. Now within this set or the given set out of which we are choosing particular values, or within that set all the values of x are selected. So within the two terms we can quantify the given existence of this quantifier. First step is what we need to do, we have a set A, okay, so for that set we have particular value of x. So x value is particularly fixed or the x value is having particular range. So n number of different values we are counting or having, or this x is having only one value. So these two cases we need to consider for this moment, okay. Now next step is what is the first quantifier. So first quantifier symbol is like this. This is not a first one, but we are discussing this. So this quantifier is used for the given x belongs to set. So what is the meaning of that? So their meaning is what, there exist, okay, I would like to make it again correct. So there exists some kind of x. So for that purpose we are using this quantifier. So its meaning is what, there exists, okay. So it's not a meaning, how we can read this symbol. This symbol is read as what, there exists. We can read this symbol in this term. What is the meaning or the name of that quantifier? Okay, so this is called as existential quantifier. So name of the quantifier is what, existential quantifier. Okay, hope you understood what exactly we want to prove over here. So this is nothing but the existential quantifier. This is the symbol, this is the how we can read it, and this is the type of that quantifier. Now another one quantifier is there which can be read as for all, okay. So for all x belongs to A, okay, that I will explain in our example. So this we can read it as for all, okay, for all. So for all we are using this symbol, okay, ulta A, that is called as for all. Now what is the means, what is the name of this quantifier? This is universal quantifier. This is universal quantifier. Okay, so hope so these two quantifiers are quite explained to you. Now how exactly we will use them? Okay, let me explain. So we will start with exercise number 1.3. So out of which we will take first question. Okay, so let's come to the first question. And what is the given question? Let's read it out. So question number 1 says that, what is the question number 1? Question number 1 says that for given a, question number 1, okay, so a is a set of numbers which are contained with 3, 5, 3, 5, 7, 11, sorry 9, 9 should be here and 11 should be here, okay, and last one is 12. Okay, so within this set we need to work it out. So what is the main purpose for this set? So first question says that for x, so there exists x. So first question is what? They are saying us to determine the truth value of the given statements below. Okay, so given statements are there. So first statement is what? There exist, what? There exist x belongs to a such that, so this can be written as there exist x belongs to a such that x minus 8 is equal to 1. Okay, that's what the given condition is. Now here they have defined this x. Most important thing, this x is defined, therefore this is called as mathematical or the logical statement. Okay, so we all know that how to identify whether given statement is statement or not. Now there exists x. Okay, so they are saying there exists x. Now I would like to take the value of 9 for x is equal to 9. 9 minus 8 is equal to 1, which is true. Okay, so therefore given x is what? The given x satisfies understood. So given x or the x satisfies the statement, therefore given statement is true and truth value is t. That's what we need to write. That's it. Now the truth value of this statement is what? T, and that's how we can complete this question. Okay, hope you understood how exactly we are writing this. Now next question within the question number 1, 2 says that, question number 2 of the question number 1 says something like this. The given statement is for all x belongs to a, x square plus x is an even number, is an even number. Now if you focus, okay, on this quantity or this parameter, now we can see that all the values of x, if we choose 3. Now let's start with question for x is equal to 3, x square plus x is equal to how much? We need to find it out. So 3 square will be 9, 9 plus 3 will be 12. So this will be 9 plus 3 is equal to 12, which is true. Okay, so this is even number. This is even number. Similarly, for all values, for all x belongs to a, x square plus x is even number. Okay, just look at these quantities. So afterwards, if you make a square of 12 square, so 12 square is 144, 144 plus, so this was the 12 na. So up to this we need to make this square plus that number. So if you make the square of 5, so 25 plus 5 will be 30. 49 plus 9, 49 plus 7 is equal to 56, again even number. 81 plus 9 is equal to 90, again even number. 11 square, 121 plus 11 is equal to 132, which is even number, again this number is also even number. So if you follow this statement, so statement is satisfied, therefore again the given statement is true. The given statement is true for all x belongs to A, okay, and truth value is D. Okay, so that's how we can solve this question. Now let's move to question number 3 of this question number 1. Now question number 1, again out of this question number 1 we are solving question number 3. Hope you are getting these values, how to quantify them and what is the meaning of those x, okay, with those symbols. Okay, so don't be get confused. So it's very easy process and this will be asked for only 1 mark. Okay, so we need to find out the truth value of this question. So they will give you 2 to 3 equations, out of which we need to find out the truth values. So 2 equations are given and they will ask you to find the truth value of the given statements. So that's how we need to quantify them. So quantifiers use is for the explanation of existence of that x. Listen carefully, that explains, those symbol explains how exactly that x is defined within that x set, and now we can use that value on the basis of this given quantification. Understood? And that's how those symbols are called as quantifiers. So it's very simple process. Now focus on the question number 3. Now question number 3 out of question number 1 says something like this. Therefore, so there exists x belongs to A. There exists x belongs to A such that x square is less than 0. Okay. Now it's very simple to look at. Now here they are saying that there exists a x. So I cannot see any complex number and whose square will be less than 0. So there is no complex number. The complex number, in complex number case only it is possible that their square is less than 0. Okay, and no other number system have this kind of policy that all numbers square. Okay, if you take negative numbers, so square of the negative number is greater than 0. So again there is no number in real number system that square is less than 0. So my statement is very sure. I'm about that statement. I'm very sure that no number in real number system has its square less than 0. Okay. Now on that basis I could say that there should be any complex number, but there is no complex number within this set. So therefore I need to straightforward write it like this. There is no x in A. There is no x in A which satisfies the x square less than 0. That's it. That's what I wanted to write, because there is no complex number. Now therefore the given statement is false. The given, so put the symbols. Okay, so this symbol also have some meaning. Therefore the given statement is false and truth value is f. Okay, Hope so. You got it. Now let's move to further question. What is that? Question number 4. Now question number 4 is not a question, it's a statement which we need to find whether it is true or false. Now look at that. So they're saying for all x belongs to A, x is an even number. Again this is false. Okay, for all x belongs to A, x is an even number. No, it's not. So for all x belongs to A, x is an even number. Okay, can you see any even number over there? Yes, only one, but not all x are even. Okay, so all these numbers are not even, only one number is even. So they are saying this statement, what? For all. So it's not for all, there exists x which is even. Understood? So not all x are even. So therefore again we need to put this statement, there is what? No x in A. Okay, instead of that what we can say? Not all x in A are even. Instead of this statement what I should write? For, otherwise not all x in A are even numbers. Okay, not all. Okay, but there is one. Okay, so that's how we can quantify it, and therefore the given statement is false and truth value is f. Just check the answer whether I am writing it wrong or right. Okay, so on the basis of this term, okay, so not all x in A are an even number. So all, there are not all. Okay, so only one. Okay, so instead of this statement I could have write it like this, only one x in A. But again one means what? We need to again define it, which kind of A, which kind of one we are talking about. So instead of that I would like to write it like this, not all x in A are even number, not an, should be there. Number. Okay, so therefore we are getting this statement as a false. Okay, now let's move further. What is that? There exists x belongs to A such that, okay, so we need to prove this. Okay, hope you got it. So truth value is what? False. So up to question number 4 we complete off the question number first. So out of first 4 questions are done. Now let's move to next questions. In exam you need to write all this pattern, okay, within this pattern only, otherwise there is no marks. If they are asking in question in multiple choice, okay, then that would be lucky point for you. But if they are not asking this question in multiple choice, they are asking in for 1 marks or 2 marks, so you need to write step by step. So that's how you can collect your marks. Now next step is what? Question number 5th. There exists, okay, so there exists simplifies that there is only one x belongs to A, 1 or 2, okay, belongs to A such that what is that? 3x plus 8 is greater than 40. Now how to prove it? That 3x plus 4 is greater than 40. Do you have any kind of explanation for this? Hope so we have. So look at here. So this is the solution start begins. For x is equal to 11, okay, so 3 into 9 will be 27. 27 plus 8 is not greater than 40, is less than 40. So I am directly starting from 11. So x is equal to 11. So you need to calculate within your mind that this is possible case for up to which number. So this is possible from 11 and 12. So for x is equal to 11, 3x plus 8 is equal to how much? 33 plus 8, which is equal to how much? 41, which is greater than 40. Understood? And for x is equal to 12, 3x plus 8 is equal to 3, 12, 3 is 36. 36 plus 8 is equal to how much? 44, which is again greater than 40. So therefore for x is equal to 11 and 12, okay, given statement is true and truth value is t. Okay, done. That's how we need to solve this question. That's it. So for this is so simple. Okay, so it's not that kind of mathematics, okay, where you need to do all that multiplication, addition, subtraction, division and all those formulas. Okay, what you need to do, you need to understand the logic behind the statement, and for that you need to understand the existence of this x. Okay, so x is existing on which basis? We can, on that basis we can solve this problem. And just what we need to do, we need to find its truth value, whether the given statement is true or false. Okay, that's it, nothing else. Now let's move to question number 6. Now question number 6 says something like this. Question number 6. Okay, so question number 6 is what? For all x belongs to A, for all x belongs to A, 2x plus 9 is greater than 40. Yes, of course, look at. So if you multiply it by how much? 3. So 3 2s are 6. 6 plus 9 is equal to 15. Again greater than. Again all numbers are greater. Therefore the given statement. So given statement is true for all values of x. So I would like to write it like this. The given statement is satisfies all value of x belongs to A. Therefore the given statement is true. And next step, and truth value is t. That's it. That's how we can solve this question, and no need to write furthermore. Okay, so that's how we can complete this question. Now let's move to our question number 2. First, with understanding of what do you mean by duals. Okay, so I would like to first explain what is the meaning of dual and how we can find the duals, and then we will continue the question number 2. Okay, good. So we will move to our next question, question number 2 of this exercise, exercise number 1.3, where we were finding the initially we were finding the quantifiers and their quantifiers meaning, and whether these quantifiers are giving truth or true value of the statement or false value of that statement. So on the basis of quantifiers we studied our statement is true or false. Now we will study the duals. Duals means the exact opposite of this truth will be false, so that will be the dual for the truth, okay, is false. Now if you have particular statement, then how we can have this dual of that statement? So it's very simple. Okay, so whenever we are making this dual, so first what do you mean by duals? Okay, so we have this question. If I have P as T, T, F, F, okay, and I have this T. T means what? Tautology. So tautology will indicate T, 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 T. Tautology statement. The statement of this tautology will stand for what? Is standing for what? Only truth values. So P and T or P is what? All values are true. Okay, so all values are true. And next step is what? We need to find out the contradiction. Now if you have again P and C, C stand for contradiction and P is what? Our particular statement having the value T, T, F, F. So here if we have this F, F, F and F, and if we make its and, so C and P will be what? F, F, F and F. Now here this C and P and this T and P, T or P are called as duals of each other. Therefore T or P and C and P are duals of each other. So fundamentally, or this or and this or and are called as duals of each other. So if they are asked us to find the dual of the given statement, what we need to do? We need to replace this, okay, this or sign with and we need to replace and sign with or. Plus what we need to do, if given within the given statement, if tautology is given, so we need to replace this by C, means what? Contradiction, and contradiction is given, then we need to replace this contradiction by T. That's what we need to do. Okay, so within these steps we will follow our next question, question number 2. Hope you got it. Now let's move to question number 2 of the exercise. So here we have very interesting phenomena, though its meaning is very huge. Okay, the statement which we are making, okay, we are directly changing the meaning, or we are directly finding its negation within this statement, okay, within the mathematical statement or the symbolic statement. So for that purpose we are using it. It's not that difficult, but its view, if you view it properly, then its meaning is very wide. Now next step, our exercise number 1.3, out of which we are solving which question? Question number 2. Okay, so question number 2 has these values P or Q or and R. So first we need to find out the dual. So what is the dual of P or Q and R? Okay, all values are same. So dual of this will be what? P or Q and or P and Q or R. That's it. This is the dual of the given statement. Next statement will be P, and that's what we need to do. P and Q and R. So what should be its dual? P or Q or R. Third one, what is the third statement? P or Q and R or S. Okay, so no need to worry, just look at this symbol. So we need to replace this or by and symbol and this and symbol by or symbol. That's it, nothing else we need to do within this step. While finding the duals, we need to replace the symbols. Okay, so here only replacing symbols is possible. If in case they give us T and C, then we need to replace that T instead of C and C instead of T. Okay, so I will show you. So T and Q, so P and Q, and here will be R, and again R and S. So this is the dual of the given statement. Just look at it if you understood. Okay, so that's what we are doing within this case. Next case is what? P and negation of Q. The fourth one is P and negation of Q. Okay, so don't worry, just change only this sign without changing the sign, without changing this negation of Q. So we won't need that, we are not doing the change in negation of Q, we are just changing the and instead of, so we are changing only and. So P or negation Q, that's the dual of this given statement. Look at it properly, most important step. Now next step, so our next question is what? Negation of P. So negation of P, fifth one we are solving. Negation of P or fifth one, negation of P or Q. What is given? Negation of P or Q and negation of R and S. Okay, so without changing the negation of these symbols, we need to change only this or instead of and. So P, negation of P and Q, and this and will change to what? Or. So or negation of S, sorry, R or S. That's it. That's what this will change only. Okay, so this is the final dual of that given statement. So what we are doing, sir, here, nothing else, just changing this. Okay, or instead of, so this we have put the and sign instead of or, so or sign instead of and this or sign instead of and. Okay, so that's how we are dealing with this dual, and that's we need to do only. Now next step is what? Sixth one. The sixth one is also easy. Sixth one says something like this: negation of P and negation of Q and P or Q and negation of R. Very big statement. Okay, again we need to change only the symbol. So P or negation of Q or P and Q, and this one or negation of R. Okay, hope we are getting this. Now next step, next question, question number 7. So 7 is also similar, but okay, so 7 yes, 7 is simple. Negation of P or Q, bracket complete. Yes, yes, bracket complete. Now here we need to this take and P or negation of Q or sorry and S, bracket complete. So what should be the negation? Just change only this symbol. Okay, so negation of P or Q, bracket complete, or P and negation of Q or negation of S. Just check the answer whether we are correct or not. Okay. Yes, definitely we are correct. Now next step, our next question is very interesting. Question number 8th one. So here we have some twist. What is that? Question number 8. So within the question number 8, they have given us C or P and Q or R. Just look at the question properly. Okay. Now within this question, what is expected? The expected thing is like this. We need to change only what? This C and this symbols plus. Okay. So we are changing the symbols, accepted, plus we need to change this C, okay, by T. So T and P or Q and R. That's what we need to do. Okay, that's the final answer for this question number 8. So it's very simple. Though it looks very simple, its meaning is very wide, as I told you earlier. Okay, so that's how we are solving this. Hope you are getting. So next question is what? Negation of P. Negation of P or Q and R and T. So question number 9 have this interesting parameter. Negation of P or Q or R or and T. Okay, so this is and R and T. So what we need to do? Again, simply negation of P and Q or R, and this sign again changes to R, and this T will change to C. Okay, hope you got it. Now next step, P or Q or C. So it is simple one. So I would like to write it where? Here. Okay, so I would like to write it here. 10. So I will write it here. So P or Q or C. So within this step, what we are looking? This P, this is or. So we need to change it by and Q and C. So instead of C, what we are using? T. Okay, so don't forget it. So C means what? Contradiction. So we need to put that contradiction away and take this T, tautology, instead of that. Okay, so up to this dual process is quite looks easy. Again, in our miscellaneous problems, they have given few other problems also. So just try to solve them. So I will again give the solution for them also. So please try to solve these questions on your own. Okay. Now next question is what? We need to find the values of negation. So we need to find the negation of the following questions. So okay. So negation, finding the negation. First of all, how to find the negation of mathematical statement? Let us see that. Now let's start with our next question. Our next question is finding the negation of the given values or the given statements. So write the negation of the following statement is our next question. Question number 3. Okay. So within the question number 3, we have to find out few parameters. Again, few parameters means what? We need to make the negation of few quantities. Now negation, in terms of negation, if you make the negation of and, what would be that? And if you make a negation of if and only if, what would be that? So initially we used to make a negation of a simple statements. Now we need to make a negation of compound statements. So those who have performed this negation simply using the word not, and instead of not they put nothing. So using that parameter we initially performed our negation. Now we need to not only we need to negate means find the negation of this statement, plus we need to make a negation of those connectives also. So what are those connectives? Fundamentally we studied the connectives. First, conjunction. So negation of conjunction. So first, negation of conjunction. Okay, so negation of conjunction says that what? P, negation of P and Q is equivalent to negation of P or negation of Q. Okay, which we can prove by using which? Truth table. So which we can prove by using truth table. So truth table help us to find out the negation of this statement and whether these two quantities are equivalent or not. These two statements are equivalent over here. Now we can find it out by using truth table. Again, the next important parameter, what? Negation. Negation of disjunction. Now negation of disjunction should be like this. Negation of P or Q is equivalent to negation of P and negation of Q. Just check it out whether it is right or wrong. Yes, it is right, of course. Now next part is what? negation of implication. So negation of implication, or we can say negation of what? Conditional. So negation of implication, negation of implication, what should be it? So negation P implies Q is equivalent to what? So that equivalent to P and negation of Q. Okay, so I am giving you the shortcuts towards this negation. These are the well known as which law? De Morgan's law. So here performing this on the basis of few well known established laws. Now next step is what? We need to De Morgan's law. Yes. The next step is negation of biconditional, which is quite complicated. We need to focus it properly. So negation of so negation of biconditional, what would be it? So negation P double implies Q is equivalent to P and negation of Q, or most important, or Q and negation of P. So these formulas, okay, hope I highlighted them properly so you can see it. Okay, so using these formulas we will perform our negation concept. So what's the question? Question first says that find the negation of the given statement where x plus 8 is greater than 11 or y minus 3 is equal to 6. So within this question number 3, first question says that find the negation of x plus 8 is greater than 11 or what? Y minus 3 is equal to 6. Hope so I am correct. Yes, correct. Now what should be the negation? So what is the negation of this first statement and this afterward this statement? So if I take it as a P and if I use this connective as OR and this statement as a Q, so what should be the negation of this statement? So we have in front of us negation of P and negation of Q. So common sense says that the negation of this will be x plus 8 is less than or equal to 11 and this connective is inwards, and y, what is the negation of this? Y minus 3 is not equals to 6. That's it. That's how we can finally form our answer. Okay, so in that term we can find it. Okay, so that is what our negation of the given statement. Okay, so to perform this negation I wrote down this statement. Okay, now it's not necessary to put in exam, you can directly write down the negation, but it should be correct or very well calculated. Now next step, question number 2 says that find, so 11 is less than 15 and 25 is greater than 20. So 11 is less than 15 and 25 is greater than 20. All of you know that this statement is true. They are not asking us whether this statement is true or false. What they have asked us to form negation only. So we need to focus on the negation topic. Okay, so again using this formula, not this formula, here the AND process is there. If this is P and this AND is here and Q is here, so what is the negation of this? This negation equivalent to this. So therefore this is equivalent to negation of P or negation of Q. So what is the opposite or the opposite to this statement? So it's nothing but 11 is greater than or equal to 15, or we need to use this or what, 25 is less than or equal to 20. That's it. That's what we need to find out or to form. We need to form this statement. Okay, that's how we can form the negation. So hope you are getting these terms. Okay, so I have written these formulas separately. Just note it down. These formulas are in books also, but they are not that clear. Okay, focused on these points. So we need to focus on these formulas. Using this only we can form our negation. And next one is very complicated. Third is what? The quadrilateral is a square if and only if it is rhombus. Okay, so I will take that statement, okay, separately. So looking at these statements, what is that? Is square if and only if it is a rhombus. Okay, now what I would like to do, I would like to first of all form that P and Q. Okay, so given statement is P double implies Q, and their negation we need to find out, which is equivalent to what? Using this formula, P and negation of Q, P and negation of Q, or Q and negation of P. Now what is our P? P is, okay, our P is quadrilateral is a square. That should be our P. So is square, that is first our P. Okay, now what is our Q? Q is equivalent to what? It is rhombus. So it is, or it is, instead of it is you can write it down, quadrilateral is rhombus. Okay, is, okay. So why I am doing this? Because I need to put this P and Q within this format, then only my statement will form. Okay, now to perform this we need to erase this first two questions. Okay, so I am erasing these two questions from here. Hope you got it, how exactly we are forming it. Okay, there is no shortcut, we need to do it step by step using these parameters. Okay, now what is that parameter? First parameter is what? P. P means what? Quadrilateral is square and it is not rhombus. First thing, quadrilateral is square, and so I will perform this statement directly. Okay, so quadrilateral is square, most important, and we need to use this and what is next? What is Q? It is not rhombus. So it is not rhombus. So it is rhombus. So what we need to do, negation of this Q will be, it is not rhombus. Okay, done. Now next step, we need to use this or. I would like to write it over here, or. Next step, quadrilateral is rhombus and it is not a square. That's it. Understood? So quadrilateral, most importantly, quadrilateral is rhombus and it is not square. Okay, just look at the statement. Okay, we did it. properly. But here they are using, so in final answer you would say, sir, they are not using this and. Okay, it's okay. If you are using and, then also okay. If you are using but, okay, they are saying but, okay, so that is also okay. But this is logically correct statement. Okay, most important, this is the logically correct statement. Don't know how they are giving this, but they have used like this: quadrilateral is square, but it is not rhombus. Okay, or quadrilateral, so instead of quadrilateral, q should be small, quadrilateral is rhombus, but it is not square. Okay, the difference is what? They are using word but, okay, we need to use the word and. That's it. We used word and, they are using but. So as you can see, this is I performed just to make sure that our statement is equivalent to this statement. Understood? For that purpose only I am doing this step. Okay, and you can simply substitute and by but word. Okay, hope you got it. Now let's move to next question. It is not cold. Sorry, it is cold and raining. So our next statement, hope you got this statement, how to solve it. Okay, just note it down properly how exactly we performed it. Okay, using these symbols. So using truth table we have already performed. Okay, so using truth table we can prove how exactly these two statements are equivalent and similar, in another word. Okay, these two statements are equivalent and therefore we are using them here. Okay, now next question is what? Next question is also easy. Question says that something like this: it is cold. Question number 4 out of question number 3. Okay, it is cold and raining. Okay, now most importantly, again here they have used and. Now what we need to do, we need to again use this negation of conjunction. The negation of conjunction is simply is what? It is not cold. So negation of P. Negation of P will be it is not cold. Next, here instead of and we need to use or what it be? So it would be it is not cold or not raining. Okay, just look at this. That's what we need to do. So in simple statement, so I am not putting this statement again and again. So we have already saw how exactly we can do it. Now we are doing it directly. Now question number 5th. Question number 5th says something like this: if it is raining, then we will go and play football. Okay, so this question regards to what? Implication. Yes, of course. Then we will go and play football. So here there are two statements. Okay, no, three statements. First statement is what? It is raining. Okay, so I would like to first write it. I need to write it. If it is raining, then we will go and play football. Okay, that's it. Now here you can see we will go play football. Okay, these are two statements separately, and again if it is raining, this is another statement. So what should we do? We should again write it in our terms. Okay, what is that? It is raining and we will not go. Okay, this whole statement is different, and this whole statement is different. If you look at it properly, if it is raining, this is one statement, this is what P implies Q, and this is what another statement, play football, is what R. Hope you got it? Okay, got it. Now what should be its opposite? Okay, so negation of this whole statement is simply is equivalent to what? Negation. So P and negation of Q, and what is the negation of and? So whole statement's negation over here, and what is this statement? Or negation of R. So in this manner we need to fit it. Okay, so look at it properly. Okay, we can perform this statement. How it can be performed? It is raining and we will not go. First I would like to perform this. Okay, it is not raining. Look at it properly. It is not, it is raining, it is raining and we will not go. First, done. Now what is our next step? Or what should be? The play football or not play football. That's it. Or not play football. Look at it properly. How exactly we are performing this? Okay. So within the circumstances of this statement, we need to find out whether how this compound statement is formed, and then make its negation, and forming the negation, then we need to form the our own statement. Okay, that's how you can lead to the proper answer. Now we don't have that much time. Let's move to the next question. What is our next question? It is also easy. Under root 2 is rational number. Under root 2 is rational number. So common sense is something like under root 2 is not a rational number. That's it. It's not a compound statement. It's simple statement. So simple statement just requires this not substitution. Okay. So what is the question number 5? Done. Question number 6. Under root 2 is what? Irrational or rational number? It's a rational number. Is a number. Now most of the students will perform it like this. Under root 2 is a irrational number. So don't write it like that. Okay, it's totally wrong. Okay, so instead of that, what you can write? Under root 2 is not a rational number. It can be anything. Okay, but it's not a rational number. So under root 2 is not a rational number. That's it. Okay, don't write it like this. What? That initially I told you that under root 2 is a irrational number. This statement is false. Okay, which is not correct. Okay, you will get 0 for that statement if you write it like this. Under root 2 is a irrational number. Okay, this is wrong. This is the correct statement. The opposite, you should not write it like a irrational. Okay, so this is wrong, this is right. So you should not write it like this. This is correct one. Now next step, question number 7. I am saying it again and again because people are doing this kind of mistakes. Okay, hope you can understand. Most important, because whenever checker checks this kind of paper and they discuss with us most of the time, and they told us if students are doing this kind of mistakes, so which is quite embarrassing, okay, for them also and to us also. So that's why I am telling you, please do not perform this kind of mistakes. Now next question. Some natural numbers are not whole numbers. What you need to do? You need to simply put that all natural numbers are whole numbers. Now most important statement, next one. What is that? Okay. So next question is seventh one. For all n belongs to natural number, n square plus n plus 2 is divisible by 4. Okay, the most important. So what we will do, we will just simply substitute. What is this? This is for all. So okay, so for all, so I would like to make it like this. There exists n belongs to capital N such that n square plus n plus 2 is not divisible by 4. That's it, nothing else we need to perform over here. So that's how we can do it. So this is what, this question was easy. Now next question, 8th one is what? There exist. So 8th question. It took so much time. Okay. Hope you are getting this exercise is quite easy as compared to the earlier exercises. Okay. The next exercise is quite difficult because most of the students are getting bored with this next exercise. Okay. So far everything looks fine. Now what is our next question? Question number 8 says that there exists n belongs to n such that x minus 17 is less than 20. Okay, such that x minus 17 is less than 20. What is the negation of this? So negation of this will be for all x belongs to n. Okay, for all x belongs to n, x minus 17 is greater than or equal to 20. That's it. Nothing else we need to put. Okay, understood? So that's how we can find the negation of this kind of statement. There are n number of statements we can solve, but from the exercise we are solving this much only. Now let's move to our further part, which is called as converse, inverse and contrapositive. Okay. Our next question is regarding to the converse, inverse and contrapositive. Now what exactly this converse, inverse and contrapositive? These are the simply implications of this given statements. If our Q implies P, then it is called as converse. If negation of P implies negation of Q, then it is called as inverse. And simply negation of Q implies negation of P, then it is called as contrapositive. Okay, so hope up to this point everyone knows now exactly how this is possible and what is the meaning of this statement. Now this is the converse of the given statement P implies Q. This is called as inverse of the given statement P implies Q. Now this negation of P implies negation of Q implies negation of P is called as contrapositive of this given statement P implies Q. So we need to perform this. So first question number 4, out of which we will solve first. If what is the question? X is less than y, then x square less than y square. Everybody knows that this is the mathematically true statement. Okay, where x belongs to what? X and y belongs to R. That's not the part of the discussion. What x, y belongs to R. That's not the important part right now here. Why? Because this is true statement or false statement. That's not the part. Okay, if this is a complex number, then this statement is false. Okay, but we are not discussing that here. that this statement is true or false, what we need to do, we need to form the converse, inverse and contrapositive. Now first, what is P? So P is simply x is less than y. This is the first statement. And next, what is Q? Q is x square is less than y square. That is what? Q. Okay. Now what is contrapositive of this? Okay. So here our question's answer is start. So converse is if x square, so as you can see this is Q, so Q implies P is called as converse. So x square less than y square, then x less than y, okay, for all x comma y belongs to R. Again, this is what the converse of the given statement. So that's what I would like to write, converse. Now what is inverse? Inverse of the statement. So again, inverse of the statement is very simple. Negation of P, negation of Q. What is negation of P? So negation of P is nothing but x is greater than or equal to y. And what is negation of Q? Is nothing but x square is greater than or equal to y. So we need to connect these two statements by if then. So I would like to write if x is greater than or equal to y, then x square is greater than or equal to y square. That's it. This is what the inverse of the given statement. Now what is contrapositive? Contrapositive. Okay. It is again simple. What we need to do? We need to just shift this. Q implies P. So if x square is greater than or equal to y square, then x is greater than or equal to y. That's it. That's how we can complete this answer. And this, okay, this will be asked for only 2 marks or 3 marks. Okay, not more than that. So they will ask either find the converse or inverse or contrapositive. Out of these 3, they will ask only one term to find. Hope you understood. Now let's move to our further question. What is our further question? Further question says that a family becomes literate if the woman in the family is literate. Okay, so I need to write it properly. What is that statement? Question number 2. A family becomes literate if the woman in it is literate. Okay, so that's how we need to perform this. Okay, so okay, now everything good. Now first of all, what is this P within this case? So P should be like this if afterwards this statement is starting. Okay, if the woman in it literate, then family becomes literate. So that should be our proper statement. So we need to write it again. If the woman in family is literate, then a family becomes literate. Hope you got it. So therefore, what is our P? Within this case, P is nothing but the woman in family is literate. Okay, okay. Now what is Q? Okay, then a family, okay, a family becomes literate. Understood? So this is P, this is Q. On that basis we need to form our converse, inverse and contrapositive. Now hope this will be easier. So This will be easy for to find out. First of all, we need to find out what is P and what is Q. Then only it is possible to understand what exactly is asked within this question. Now I am erasing this side because there might be chance that we will not. Okay, so now it's okay. Now converse. What is the converse of the given statement? So converse says something like this. What is converse? The woman in family is literate. That is what? P. Now Q implies P. Therefore, if a family becomes literate, then the woman in it is literate. Okay, just look at the statement whether we are right or wrong. Yes, we are right. So this should be our converse of the given statement. And then next, what is inverse? Inverse of the statement should be like this. Again, inverse of the statement requires this negation of P, negation of Q. So what is the negation of Q? Sorry, P. So woman in family is not literate. So negation of that. So if the woman in family is not literate, then a family does not becomes literate. Understood? We are putting this does not just because this is family, and we are putting this not only for woman. Okay, hope you understood. Okay, that's what the grammar says. So here the word becomes. Okay, so this word is becomes, therefore I am putting this does not, does. Okay, this word, this is the most important parameter. And next step we need to put the not. So does not, that will be used for this becomes purpose. So therefore this statement is like this. Next step is what? Inverse is done. Now next, contrapositive. Now all of you can find the answer easily. Now it's very easy. Okay, what is that? If a family does not, okay, if the family does not becomes literate, then what? Then woman in a family, then the woman in it, okay, then the woman in it is not literate. Woman in it is not literate, and that's how we can form the statement or contrapositive. So this is the inverse of the given statement. This is the contrapositive of the statement. Just what we need to do, we need to play with the statement properly. So this is done. Now next question is, if the surface area decreases, then the pressure increases. Very interesting. Okay, so you got all these things. Okay, just take a screenshot or you can note it down. Okay, so take a screenshot. Good. Now next question. So we are doing these questions, okay, as the step by step. So why I am taking inside the exercise this all theory part? Because okay, so within the exercise we need to discuss this theory part. Otherwise, as we are doing the theory and we are solving the exercise, so these two patterns are fit for us. So I would like to take first this theory part and then I have solved the questions. Now next step we need to solve next question, question number third. Okay, so it is again easy. If the surface area decreases, then the pressure increases. If the surface area decreases, okay, then what is increasing? Pressure increases. Okay, done. Now here P is what? This surface area decreases. Now what is this? The pressure increases is Q. Now what should be the converse of the statement? So I would like to do it directly. So converse of the statement is what? If pressure increases, okay, then the surface area, what will happen to surface area? Decreases. Okay, and that's what the converse of the statement. Now what is the inverse? Inverse of the statement should be like this. If the surface area, so what is this, increase or decrease? So most of the students are using one particular word, okay, that word they are finding the opposite word of this increase or decrease. So do not form that kind of case, okay. So here what we need to do, if the surface area does not decreases, surface area does not decreases, okay, then what will happen then the pressure what does not increases, does not increases. Just check it whether we are correct or wrong. Okay, hope we are right. So here most of the time people are doing this simple thing. What? They are just putting the opposite word. So increases, so what is the opposite of that or the negation of that will be, they are considering it as a what? Decreases. So increase, instead of increase they will put decrease, and instead of decrease they will put increase in terms of negation. So do not perform this kind of task, okay, you will get the 0. What is the correct process? Does not decreases, okay, we don't know whether it is increasing or doing something else, so we are simply saying it is not decreasing, that's it. It might be constant, okay, that is also possible case. So here we are not putting the word increase instead of decrease. So does not decrease, does not decrease, okay, it's not that indicating it is increasing, it might be constant, okay. Are you getting this step? Most important pattern, okay. So it's simply indicating what? It is not decreasing. Understood? So that's what I wanted to tell you. Now next step, contrapositive of the statement, okay. What is the contrapositive of the statement? Is again very simple. If pressure does not increases, then what will happen to surface area? Then the surface area does not decreases, okay. That's the most important step which we required over here. So hope you are getting these answers, okay. If you have any doubt, just let me know within the comment section. Now up to this exercise we will stop and we will perform the next exercise in next video. Now what I wanted to tell you, that up to this step we were in so much rush and we were performing this task very fast. So now we will get slow down and we will go to fundamentals and have some identities, or what we can call them as the algebra of those statements. So algebra of statement we will study in next topic, and we will perform the required process for that. So algebra of the statement have the important law, okay, independent law, commutative law, associative law, distributive law, De Morgan's law, identity law, complement law, absorption law, then conditional law, biconditional laws. All these kind of laws we need to study in further section. Now, most importantly, all those identities and all those equivalent statements are most important. So we need to have that chart with us, and then we can apply them and simply solve those questions. For now, give me some comments. Okay, so I can improve whatever we are doing here is right or wrong, and what is the requirement of yours. So just let me know, and we will have that process in our next lecture. Thank you for watching, and please stay at home, stay safe.